Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 17 of the Steele Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero from SteeleSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, Dave Corr. What's up, Dave?
What's up, guys?
All right, we'll start out with some housekeeping this week. The Steelers had to cut down to 80 from 85. The big cuts were Mateo Durant, wide receiver Christian Blake, kicker Nick Skiba, quarterback Chris Oladukin, and outside linebacker Janad Avery. The last two were very surprising, to say the least. I mean, I can understand Oladukin a little bit, but Janad Avery, we were just talking about how he played pretty well the last game, and now he's gone.
Yeah, all this, I think, honestly, some of these cuts was all about more salary cap room. I think it was about cap space to make some moves right before the season starts. Because, I mean, Avery, in that game we did see him, I thought he looked good, to be honest. And so I was kind of shocked that they cut him after one game. Like it was just like, wow, okay. But I mean, by cutting him, he signed a 1 year, $1.187 million deal. He only had $152,000 guaranteed at signing. So they saved a significant amount of money by cutting him. And then, when you think about it, Mateo Durant was a $2.5 million signing too for 3 years. So they saved $850K average because he only had $15K guaranteed at signing. And then you got other guys too that, signing these 1 year deals or 3 year deals. They were averaging out to almost $1 million a pop, except for like the kicker. So it was all about saving money. And they went clear up to $15 million in salary cap room now. So, or salary cap space. So I think that's what this was about. I think that they just thought that they needed the cap space, and they went ahead and cut him because he didn't do enough apparently in that one game. That's the only thing I can think of. Like I don't know.
I mean, it makes perfect sense except for one thing. They don't have a backup outside linebacker, really.
Correct.
Tuka is not the guy. Hamilcar Rashid, he's going to start this week. Maybe they're higher on him than we thought. He played pretty good last game.
I think they
I
are.
hope that's it.
Because I looked at the updated depth chart, and guess who's right behind Watt?
It's Rashid?
Yep, right behind him.
Yeah, he was taking first-team snaps in practice this week from what people were saying. So, and he's going to start, or at least get big reps this week. Yeah, he's going to start because Highsmith isn't going to play. So
right, and I honestly, I think they must have looked at the film and thought there was no difference except for one's getting paid way more than the other.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely.
And that's the deciding factor because they're going to want to make some moves.
It's got to be right?
Because the way I look at it is that Durant didn't do anything in the preseason. Oladukin never got to play. Skipper didn't do anything. I'm sorry, not Skipper. I'm sorry. Blake didn't do anything. So all those guys really didn't do anything. And we knew that Skiba wasn't going to stick around. I mean, obviously. Yeah. So only one that you're like, okay, well, Avery did show some flash there. So why after one game? So it has to do with the fact Rashid looks like he's going to be, to them, maybe just as good as what Avery would have been. So just save the money for down the road.
I guess that has to be it. I mean,
absolutely.
There's got to be somebody else coming in, though, because they can't. I mean, Rashid's so unproven, and Tuska's just a special teams guy. The other guy, Scott, and they're not.
No, there's no doubt to me. It's a money move. Period. It's a money move for other things because of what they saw with other things that they need to tend to.
All right, don't be surprised if Oladukin makes it back to the practice squad after too. I wouldn't be shocked at that at all.
Well, it really just throws a wrench in the whole. What the hell are they going to do? Are they really going to have Mason be third string, or even worse, it'd be actually Kenny Pickett be third? Because I don't know what I still stick to the whole they're going to trade Mason Rudolph.
Absolutely.
But when they cut Oladukin, I was kind of like, already? Like, holy shit. Like I was expecting maybe, one game of them letting Oladukin get some playing time, and it's not happening. So that's what's got me kind of wondering now what they got going on. But
I worry that he's going to get picked up by anybody else, and they needed the roster spot. So they cut him now, save
It
a
has
spot
to be.
else, and then he goes to the practice squad after.
Right. He's a 7th rounder. Somebody grabs him. Oh, well.
Yeah. They can always pick somebody else to be on the practice squad.
But it just drives me insane that you drafted another quarterback in the first place. Like, every pick, you can use it for something else. If you're going to go get something else that could help, special teams player, something like that, at least, why waste it on a guy that you knew you're never going to be on the team? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was stupid.
They're saying, don't worry about it. It's just a 7th round pick. No big deal. But you know what? So is Mark Robinson. Look how good he's playing.
Right.
You can find talent in the 7th round. It was the back end of the 7th round. But look at that. There's a running back for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco. He's going to be like the backup or maybe even the starter. He's pushing for starting.
Right.
He's playing great. He was drafted after. So don't tell me that 7th round pick is, don't worry about it.
And just remember how many players dropped in that draft to the later rounds.
Yeah.
That were ranked high. Or not, I won't say high. Like, yeah, they're ranked like 3rd, 4th rounders. And they dropped to the 6th, 7th round that could have been had. And instead, we took another quarterback after drafting 120th overall. It was like, why the hell would you draft another QB? We knew it didn't make sense. And now look, it's even further, solidify that it was a dumb pick. And it was a Colbert pick. So was Khan just like, yeah, I don't care. Bye.
Yeah, I don't think Khan had much of a say until after that draft. I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This was a Colbert's last swan song, if you will. And yeah, exactly. So I just, the pick was dumb. And yeah.
At the end of the day, like I said, he'll be back. He'll be back in the practice squad. Man.
And that's what they're banking on.
All right, another move that the Steelers made, they claimed Elijah Riley off waivers from the Jets. They didn't even let him become a free agent. They claimed him. And they released Donovan Steiner. That's not a surprise. He was just going to get cut anyway, most likely.
Yeah, that guy, I don't think I heard his name once so far, whether it be a camp or preseason game, like nothing. Like, so not surprised at all.
The weird part of this is, like we talked about in the last pod, we think the safety group's pretty much solid and set.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why pick up another safety unless maybe Miles Killebrew's job is teetering on the line? Yeah, because he hasn't played at all. He's been hurt.
Right.
They keep this guy and cut Killebrew. It's definitely a possibility at this point.
So they signed him to a 2-year, $1.39 million deal. Average salary is $685K. So, and it's a cap hit of $895K this year by itself. So I didn't get a chance. I should have looked up Killebrew's salary to see if indeed that's what they're thinking.
He's almost $5 million, right? Didn't he sign a big deal?
I'm trying to remember, but if that's the case, then that makes a lot of sense. But this guy, he was out of Army, was to college. He had 7 starts. So far, he's had 7 starts in NFL, 45 tackles, 23 solo, 3 tackles for a loss, 1 pass breakup, 1 sack, and 1 QB hit. So, I mean, out of 3 years, as a starting safety, no, but I got a feeling this guy's really good on special teams.
Yeah.
So
my bad. Killebrew's a 2-year, $4 million deal, so they can save.
That's still saving money.
They can save like 1.6 if they cut him.
Right, but 1.6 adds up with all the other cuts. Yeah. So so I could see it. But we said this. We said it's going to be Killebrew. It's going to be Watt. Derek Watt.
We have been talking about this for a while.
Or it's going to be Snell. One of those guys has got to go. One of them's gone. You're not paying all that money out to keep all of them, especially in my opinion, Watt. But so it's looking like it's going to be Killebrew since they added a safety, obviously. But we'll see. But I think that's definitely that I would think that you're right. That's definitely the idea behind that.
If Killebrew doesn't play on Sunday, he's probably gone.
Right.
Because he hasn't played at all. I think he got hurt in the first couple of practices and he hasn't done anything. All right, moving on. I have a pony of the week this week. I didn't even go over this with you. I forgot, but I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Simmons. You ever heard of him?
I've heard of Bill Simmons. Yep, I've heard.
He's a Boston guy. I've been listening to him for a long time. His last 2 podcasts, this guy is trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo, trying to tell people that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go to the Steelers. The Steelers are going to trade for him. But the Steelers are going to sign him after the 49ers cut him, which they probably
Steele. To this, like you're saying presently this guy is saying.
There's 2 podcasts he did this week. And I'm like, you just don't have any clue of what's going on with the Steelers quarterback situation. He's talking out of your ass. He even had Peter Schrager on his last podcast, and they were talking about it. And first Schrager was like chirping back a little bit at him, but then he's like, yeah, maybe I can see it. Like, dude, no. It's like so stupid. Don't comment on things that you don't have any idea. You know, you haven't watched a minute of Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. Why in the world would they bring in Jimmy Garoppolo at this point?
I'll say this. No. I'll say this.
Just don't.
Not even from the Steelers standpoint, but from the 49ers standpoint. The closer you get to the season starting, their price, I think, is going to drop because they're not going to want to pay him that money.
Oh, they're not going to. I heard on another podcast that they don't want to cut him to the very last minute because he's going to sign with Seattle. And they play Seattle week 2. So they don't want him to practice with them at all until the very last second. And that's why they're holding on to him this long.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense than
I just think the price will come down to get rid of him if they can trade him. And if not, then you're right. They're going to cut him because they're not going to pay him. They're not going to pay him that kind of fucking money.
No, he's not.
And it'd have to be an absolute bargain for the Steelers to do that. But why go through all this with Trubisky and draft Kenny Pickett just to go trade away draft picks? It's crucial to the Steelers. That's how they build for Garoppolo. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. The guy must want.
There's no way you want that to take the quarterback controversy nightmare. No way.
What a surprise. National media stirring up these crazy Steelers rumors. Why would they do that? Weird.
Right? We've talked about that a million times.
Jesus.
All right. You want to go to our players to watch for this week? We both kind of put a list together of players that we want to watch in this last preseason game against the Lions. Why don't you go first? I'll let you.
A guy that I'm going to be watching is on offense. It's going to be Tyler Vaughn. Like, this guy, 2 games in a row has been really impressive. Did he have like 56 yards catching?
I believe yes.
Last game. Then the game before that had the winning touchdown, had a couple nice moves to score. I mean, this kid's he's been impressive, honestly. Like, I know it's, towards the last, second half or last quarter, but the kid's been very impressive, elusive. I like this kid. And once we get into the game preview, I'll talk more about some of the other wide receivers. But like a kid that I really want to watch to see if he continues to make an impression, in a third time. I wonder if that could make them think a little bit about, maybe this kid, maybe he should be the choice, maybe over someone like, say, Boykin, who honestly hasn't done that much. Like, I've seen Boykin make a couple catches, and that's really about it. I haven't seen him yards after the catch. I haven't seen him score any touchdowns. I haven't seen him be elusive. I've just seen him make nice, strong, contested catches while being covered strongly. But it's only been like a 7-yard pass, 10-yard pass twice now. That's all I remember of him. But this kid, I have seen him every game so far in preseason go out there, score touchdowns, catch the ball, avoid tackles, and get that extra yardage. It's been impressive. The kid is young and cheap, and it's something that they, the Steelers like to see. So that's a kid I'm going to keep an eye on to see for a third game in a row if he does well again. Because like we talked about, they are, on paper, they look like they're what we've seen so far, stacked on wide receiver 1 through 8 or whatever, right? So we know once they cut one of these people, they're getting snagged up by somebody. So I'm just curious when they evaluate this, if he has another big game, in the end, when they evaluate this, is it going to be him that maybe makes the team over, say, a Sims or a Boykin? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wonder who's going to get that because they're going to go 6 wide receivers.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't. So
they could go 8.
Right. But I mean,
really do.
Right.
They won't.
So they won't, but they could. Yeah, absolutely. And that's my point. Like I could see them. I'm just curious if this kid has a 3rd game in a row of being, impressive like that. If there's a chance he sneaks in there.
I like him. I like him.
I do, dude. At first, I was like, nah, who the hell's this kid? But then a second game of it, I was like, damn, this kid put up 56 yards again. Like, all right, and that's the thing. It may be and I think about this too. It may be against the other 3rd stringers, but if he's making them look like nothing, that's actually a sign that he's actually good. He's not being challenged by them.
Yep.
And that's the way I look at it. So we'll see. That's the first one that I think people should keep an eye on. But you won't see him around to the second half. So
yeah, it's funny. My first one is Steven Sims. I want to watch him. I think I've been super impressed with him. The end arounds, the kickoff return.
Yes.
Much as a receiver, but he's done some other stuff, shown some speed. I mean, you nailed it. This wide receiver group is so deep, and I don't know if it's a lock that Boykin makes the 6th wide receiver spot, or even Gunner for that matter. If Sims can be the return guy with maybe a little bit more explosiveness, maybe he jumps ahead of them. And Vaughn's, like you said, same thing. That dude's had a great camp, a great preseason. It's going to be – Tomlin said this last game is going to decide spots, and maybe this is one of the spots he's talking about, the 6th wide receiver spot.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you said, Boykin hasn't done a hell of a lot. He's a special teams guy, though. We keep bringing that up. But at the end of the roster, that's key. If you're a special teams guy and it's close, you're going to make it. So we'll see. I got Anthony Mcfarlane, too. I don't know. I have a soft spot for Mcfarlane. I think he's getting squeezed out. And I don't have a lot of hopes that he's going to make this team. But, man, I hope he just kills it so we can –
I have stuff added to that for the game preview when we get to the game preview. Part of it, unless we're counting that as this, but
we'll go to the game preview too.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'll just save it for the game preview.
Okay.
But next guy that I think I'd be a player to watch is that William Dunkle. That's an Andy Weidel guy.
Yeah.
And I heard he had he was very involved with getting these type of guys when he was with the Eagles. So this is a Weidel guy. So I'm kind of interested to see, since Andy Weidel did go for the position, general manager, he did interview for it and he was trying to get that position. I'm kind of interested to see what he brings in, since this guy is one of his guys. So I'm interested to see Dunkle and see how he does out there. He's not going to come into the second half. So I'm interested to see if he gets his ass ran over or if, or if he looks decent, so that's what I'm interested to see. I told you how, I saw that grade of him looking really, had a really high grade from what I saw, but then I heard something else where it didn't give him a good grade at all. So it was like, shit, which is it? So I'll be interested to see him. Dude, most of my players to watch, honestly, on offense it's actually only wide receivers and linemen.
Well, the whole line is up for grabs. So I put whole offensive line on this for players to watch because, 1 through 5 on the starters, we need to see better. I would be interested to see if Dotson starts over Green or if Green starts over Dotson this week. That'll be interesting because that might give us a clue to who they're planning on being the week 1 starter. They brought in another offensive lineman, Adrian Healy.
Yeah, that's what I got written down. Yep. No, I got him wrote down, and because I put it on Twitter that he had last year in preseason a 90 grade, but he had somebody in front of him. There was just no way they were gonna. He was an undrafted free agent. The same old story you hear about undrafted free agents. They're an undrafted free agent. There's no stock in them. They would have to play out of their mind. They're just they get buried on the depth chart and they don't make the team. So yeah, dude, I got him down to watch. And then my other one, and I'm just throwing this out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't LeGlue play left guard last year?
Probably. He plays all over. He plays center and both guard spots. And like you said, I think he even got a couple of snaps at tackle, either in the preseason or during, I think it's probably preseason, but he can play all over the line. So,
because I'm just throwing this out there. If they don't like Dotson, and Kendrick Green shouldn't even be on an NFL field, if LeGlue has another great game out there, wouldn't he be worth a look in their spot?
well, absolutely.
Like I don't.
Would it
It seems
surprise
like
you
the
if it's
guy's
Dunkle?
solid. So I don't understand why he doesn't get consideration to get put in that spot.
I just think that he's so valuable as, a
As
backup and
depth.
everything that
As
they
depth.
don't.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Dunkle starts week 1, if LeGlue starts week 1, if Dotson, Green. It's a shit show. So who knows who's going to start for that left guard position? It could be somebody still coming as a free agent.
Yeah.
Or who knows? Getting off the offensive line, I got DeMarvin Leal. I want to see that dude again. Last week, he balled out as a pass rusher. He was phenomenal. I want to see if he can do it again back-to-back weeks.
I've
I'm
got him
excited.
wrote down too. That's who I have Leal down too. I wrote down in my notes, I feel like he's slowly building to go off in this game. It feels like it's just a slow burn, like first game, you'd see a little bit of flash. And then the second game, that's when you started seeing him really get, using his hands, using his moves that he had when he played outside too. Like you really saw the moves he was making. You're like, whoa, this guy can really rush the quarterback. To this game, I think he's going to get a sack. I think he's going to have a big game, maybe a tackle for a loss, forced fumble, you name it. I think this is the game where you see him actually go off, because now I'm not sure if the game can slow down this quick for guys, but I think the first game compared to the third game, we're going to see a massive difference with him.
This goes without saying, but Devin Bush, Mark Robinson, I want to see both of them. I want to see both of them do well. I can't get enough of Mark Robinson. Let him play.
The whole Bush thing, I got that for the preview, but Mark Robinson, absolutely. I want to see. I mean, it's first preseason game, the third one. So, like, again, could I see that much improvement in coverage? Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see his improvement in coverage, and then I want to see him lay the boom again, because that's what I've really been enjoying, is just seeing him go out and pop someone. But I've also loved, like, is it Brian Bolger? I can't remember his name, but he was doing film on him, and he was showing how he's maintaining his gap integrity and not committing too early, and not getting stuck, shedding blocks. Like, he's really advancing for, like, only having a year of being a linebacker under his belt was like, holy shit. So I'm really excited to see that, and then see if he improves his coverage skills, because, dude, they really might have something here. Like, they really might. And I was so pissed when they drafted this guy. I was like, who the fuck is Mark Robinson? And they say he's just 1 year linebacker. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? And now I'm like, my God, they're a fucking, Colbert's a genius. But,
in that 7th round, right?
How do you? They go from doing that genius move to this shit with Oladuka, and you're just like, what in the fuck, Like, so to see him, just the progression already is so quick with him, and, like, man, the only thing I've seen him not look great in is coverage, and that's it. So I want to see if he improves that any. But, I'm seeing comparisons. Vince Williams, 2.0.
I've seen a lot of that. I kind of mentioned that myself.
And Vince Williams said, not yet. I wasn't like that early. He said so. He said something to that effect.
Wasn't that good as his rookie season?
Yeah, I was just like, damn.
He said, I said rookie season, not overall. He made sure.
Yeah. I did say it too. Yeah, no.
I love Vince Williams. I miss him already.
I do too. I know. I loved him too. But
hey, in worst case scenario, if Robinson's a first, second down guy, run stopper, and he comes off the field, that's still a great 7th round pick. And with room to grow later on, I mean, like you said, that's a home run pick.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got another one for us?
Yeah, I do. Chris Steele.
I had him on my list too. That's my guy.
Dude, like, this guy's so close. He was so close to having a pick last week. He's made some great tackles, some great pass breakups. Like, this guy is just right there. He's had a great camp. I'm expecting him to make a big play. It's probably going to be an interception, and that's what I'm expecting from him. It's his last hoorah, if you will. He's got to do something here.
If he doesn't have a big game, he's going to end up at the practice squad.
And I'll get to that during the pregame. But let me see. I got anybody else? Yeah, dude. I had Boykin. I had Boykin because of this reason. Boykin hasn't done much, so he may feel the heat too. So
I'm feeling some pressure with these guys playing so well.
Yeah. Right. So I'm wondering if he's going to have a big game. He's going to go all out because, and I don't think we talked about this because we haven't talked since Sunday. If I'm so, did you hear what Daniels said? James Daniels said. I forget who he said it to, but this was after the game about how he doesn't peak in preseason.
I did.
Like, who the fuck says that? Like, I forgot about the whole doing the pony of the week. If I had have thought of it, I'd have fucking chose that. Like, who the hell says that I don't peak in preseason? Bro, you just admitted you're not even trying hard. Like, like I don't know what the fuck they taught him in Chicago, but you don't say that shit here in Pittsburgh. Like, we don't want to hear that shit. Like, you don't peak in preseason. Dude, get the fuck out of here. Like,
that's just a hot ass answer because he was getting asked questions and why he's
playing. Then don't play like shit. Like, you got signed to for considering the Steelers, that was a big deal. A big deal they gave him.
One of the biggest.
Right.
Games.
Like, and then you come in here and lay an egg. Like what the hell? So
I've been the James Daniels guy, man. From the beginning when they signed him, I thought it was going to be great.
I was excited too.
Always in the back of my head, though, I'm like, Chicago sucks. Why would they let a 25-year-old offensive lineman go? Why? That's always been eating at me in the back of my mind. Is he really just not that good? And they knew it? I hope not, because
I'm worried he's a horrible pass blocker.
They need him to be,
and they need him to be okay. Just be okay at pass
left guard spot. They can't have the right guard spot go down too, because oh my god! And now you're talking chaos. I have one more. Hamilcar Rashid. I know we talked about him earlier. Let's see if let's see if this is the reason they didn't let Avery go. Maybe he's brewing to have a big game.
I
against the starters. So
you're going to be shocked, but I have him on my list too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for him to record like a sack or two, dude. He's been applying so much pressure.
Yep.
And sooner or later it's coming. Like he's been getting back there. So I can't wait to see it either, because I think he's also due for a big game. One of these guys, out of those the guys we've been talking about on defense, one of them's gonna have a big game. And I could see Rashid, I could easily see it being him. They gotta be big on him, dude. Gotta be. For them to let Avery go like that, they gotta be.
All right, you want to jump into previewing the Lions game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Looking at the Lions roster, I don't think their quarterback's going to play, or he might only play a few series. I'm not sure. They were talking about him not playing at all. The defensive line's good. This will be a test for the offensive line again. You got the second overall pick, Aiden Hutchinson. Michael Brockers is a defensive tackle for them. That's a good defensive line. We could see a repeat of last week from the Steelers offensive line.
Ugh.
God help us. Their receivers are pretty good. DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a big year last year. That'll be a test for the corners. DeAndre Swift's a pretty good back. So we'll see if the linebackers are and the Steelers run defense is up to par. It'll be a good game. Tomlin said in his press conference today, he's game planning for the first time like this is a regular season game. So they're treating this like a regular season game, a tune-up when the season starts.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find. I could have sworn I had a news update on whether Goff is going to play or not.
I heard on the radio today that he might not play.
Yeah, I could have sworn I had an update that said it had news on him.
No, let's be
Dan,
honest.
oh, here we go.
Let's play.
Oh, here we go. Dan Campbell said starters will play Sunday versus Steelers, but not Goff.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard, that he's not going to
Said
play.
they'll be prepared to said they'll be prepared to play a half, which is what the Steelers are doing with their starters. Okay. So if that's it, then that's a good test. You know what I'm saying? I mean, minus the quarterback, of course, but Goff's not that good anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah, it's not like, but their backups are horrendous. That's why there's all the rumors of Mason Rudolph going there.
Right.
Because they're terrible.
So, and that's for the preview. That's what I had wrote down first was the QBs for us was basically I have down, this is it. This is Trubisky versus Pickett versus Rudolph. However, to me, it's more about if Trubisky struggles bad and Kenny marches them right down the field, looks cool, calm, collective, scoring touchdowns, just what he's been doing. Got that passer rating above 150 like he's been doing. Yep. Are they going to be like, shit, okay, you know what? Yeah, we got it. We got to give it to Pickett. He's got to start.
I go back to Tomlin again. He said, this is the game that's going to decide some cutters. If one ball's out and one doesn't.
But I just could.
Kenny Pickett.
They say that, but you just behind closed doors. I don't, I just wonder if they start looking at things. But like I said, it's for Trubisky to struggle, and he hasn't really struggled. He's just been running for his goddamn life out there.
Yeah.
With the O-line. So that's the only thing. So I just wonder if there really could be something that could happen to where Pickett does win the starting job. My other thing with the quarterback thing is, and I know I said versus, Trubisky versus Pickett versus Rudolph. I was just saying that. I think this is more about also Mason the Lions are going to get a close up to look at Mason.
Absolutely.
They're going to get, and I think it's going to be a whole half. He's going to play a whole half.
They play the whole second half again.
They're going to have everybody there they need to watch him. And because that's what the rumor's been, it's the Lions that are interested, right? So, I also hope that he does well. so that,
fourth round pick.
yeah, I do that. Honestly, I think that'd be crazy. I couldn't. If we get a fourth round pick, I will be so happy.
Shit sometimes, man. They do crazy.
Like I said, my ceiling was a fifth. I'm expecting a sixth, a fourth. Wow. But that's what I got for the quarterbacks.
Let me give my 2 cents on Kenny Pickett. I think he's showed me enough at this point, or if he plays well on Sunday, I'm about to do a total 180 on this quarterback situation. Say, what's the point of not playing him? Let's go. He's the quarterback of the future anyway. What are we waiting for? He's done nothing but kill it all preseason. You're just postponing the inevitable. Kenny Pickett's going to start at some point. If he balls out again, make him call him a starter. It's time.
Best quarterback rating in the preseason since 2015.
Yeah, he's shown enough. He's shown enough. This is all the talk when they drafted him, how he's a fifth-year guy and he's got experience and he's ready and blah, blah. It's all true. He's ready. He's played fantastic. I'm a Mitch Trubisky guy. I wanted them to sign him from way back in the beginning. I thought it was a good idea.
Me too.
He hasn't done anything to change my mind. It's just Kenny Pickett's played so well. And I'll be the first to admit, when I heard his name called on draft night, I was like, what the fuck did they just do? It was Malik Willis. And Kenny Pickett out of nowhere. I'm like, holy shit, Pittsburgh homer. They just, I was wrong.
Yeah, no, I was screaming for Malik Willis too. I really was. I think everybody was. Even the media was predicting, hey, if he's there, they're taking Malik Willis. I mean, everybody was saying that, and everybody was in awe of Malik Willis. You had the combine, you had his pro day, you had all that shit, and everybody was smitten with Malik Willis. So it definitely talked me into. I was like, oh yeah, if he's there, go get him. it makes, when you think back now, we can Monday quarterback this all we want, but like now it does make sense. They had 5 years to watch this kid and scout this kid and see the progression.
Yep.
In the end, we should have seen that and realized. But whatever.
And even I shouldn't say at his worst, but even if he's just what he's been in the preseason, dink and dunk, short passing, this team's so talented around him. That's enough. He can be getting experience as a starter. And as long as he's just not turning the ball over, this team's still going to win games.
I think they just don't want to have a Joe Burrow situation happen where they put him out there and he tears his ACL because there's no O-line to fucking protect.
There's that. The offensive line could struggle. And
they have got to draft in the first couple rounds some O-line, please.
We talked about it, right? This is Khan and Weidl's show now. Hopefully they approach it differently than the Steelers previously. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not 100% convinced, but I hope.
You want to talk about running backs a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
So, as I was going to talk about earlier, to me, the ultimate running back thing here, it's the dynamic has changed so much. It's not even about Jaylen Warren anymore. That's over with. He's the two.
Done. He's two.
It's literally Snell versus Mcfarlane, who will prevail. And it's like, if Mcfarlane has this, say, big game or a couple big runs and Snell doesn't do shit, are they really gonna like it? Or say Snell has a big play on special teams. What are they gonna weigh in that? Like,
I have no idea, man. This is a good point. I don't have any idea.
I just don't know what is gonna factor in their decision to pick that third guy. And it's like, for me, it's just like, God, dude, you can get special teams guys on the cheap. Like,
well, we're talking about this loaded with special teams guys. They're everywhere.
Yeah, like you, it's very seldom you can have 3 guys that can hit a home run on one carry. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mcfarlane is super fast. Like, I'd want that big threat play any day of the week. But the kid, he figured out the whole dancing thing. And now he's actually straight line running and seeing the hole and hitting it. And he's doing that now. So now you've seen the big difference in him. To me, there's just no way. If McFarlane has a big game and Snell does what Snell does, he can go.
My gut tells me Tomlin loves himself some Benny Snell football, man, and he's not going to let go. That's what my gut tells me. And we know Tomlin hasn't been enamored with McFarlane over the last couple of years.
Yeah, no,
they can always
I
4 2. That's always a possibility to keep 4 running backs. Who knows? I mean, it's not crazy to think they'd keep 4. They could kick Derek Watt to the fucking curb and keep 4 running backs. I mean, that dude hasn't played all preseason. You got Highsmith who can play some fullback.
Watt really is the biggest waste of money. Derek Watt is the biggest waste of money.
If he doesn't play Sunday, does he make the team still?
No idea. Did we ever look up to verify how much money he's making?
I think he is the one that's making. I put my foot in my mouth once.
We thought it was like 4.9 mil or something like that. I could have sworn. But I'm just curious because it's such a big fucking waste of money. It drives me insane.
So here it is. He is on the books. His cap hits 4.7. Dead cap 1.9. So they can save a little over $2 million if they cut him.
I'd do it. Bye.
I would do it too.
It's a waste of money.
Here's my theory. I think they would have done it too if his last name wasn't Watt.
Yep. I agree.
I hate to say it, but I really do think there's part of that where they don't want to piss off TJ under any circumstances, and you can't really blame them.
Right.
But it comes down to this is a business, and this is football, and if he's injured and he's not playing, you do not need a fullback. How many times did we see Derek Watt on offense last year?
Yeah, maybe a handful, if that.
Yeah. But we'll see.
But you want to move on to wide receiver?
Yeah, sure.
So this was what I was going to talk about earlier. The whole it's Sims versus Boykin, right? And if Sims looks so dynamic again and shows shades of 84 in his rookie year again, is he definitely going to surpass Boykin? Because Boykin just, like I said, he doesn't show any of that. I haven't seen it from him. I've seen it in 2 games in a row with this kid. So I don't, Boykin may be that big body they may like to have with sure hands, strong, but when you got a chance to have a kid that shows, shades of 84 back in the day, like, I'm not sure they're going to want to pass that up.
It's Boykin's the ultimate tease, right? Dude, 6'4", he runs a 4.40, long arms. He's if you carved a body out for a wide receiver, it'd be him.
Right.
But he doesn't do anything on the field. He does nothing when he gets on the field. And I thought maybe a little bit was that Baltimore offense, and they don't throw the ball around unless you're a tight end in Baltimore. So I thought maybe that was it. And it's a small sample size, but apparently he's been the starting gunner for the special team unit all preseason. So that probably gives him the inside track. I don't know. I'd rather see Sims at this point. He was one of the guys I want to watch. I'm big on Sims. I don't know.
I'm big on big play threats.
Yes.
And that kid is a big play threat waiting to happen.
100%.
Get him out in space and look out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to do like a preview down, next week of who we think makes the team and stuff like that. But I'm telling you now, if he does this again, if he has another dude, I'm all about, I'm on the Sims train. Put him on the team.
And we don't know what's going on with Austin either. If Austin's hurt, then they both could make it. And Austin,
I swear you read my damn mind. That's literally my next thing I have wrote down here. Is Calvin Austin playing? Is he playing? I mean, they said, is he?
I saw an interview where he said he's ready to go. He's just waiting for Tomlin to give him the okay to go. So I'm assuming he's going to play. And if he plays, then it's between Boykin and Sims.
Dude, I'm going to be so excited this kid plays. We've been waiting freaking forever.
I know.
Like, to see this kid on the field.
Yeah.
Like, man. So I had that down here. I hope he plays. Next thing I got is I put, will Derek Watt do anything? Doubtful. Like so then I put, or does Connor Hayward make him expendable along with Rader? And I think, honestly, I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm hoping Connor Hayward gets out there, does his thing like he's been doing. And, they're like, you know what? Like, we got this kid that can play tight end, can play fullback. We don't need Watt. We can save $2-3 million. We're good. Like,
I couldn't agree more.
And then I got, let's see here. Next I had was for tight ends. I had his Gentry going to bully another person again.
I hope to see it.
He's one of those football players. They're not dynamic, but when they catch the ball, there's going to be a car crash. And you just love to see it. Like, you just love to see this big dude just run people the fuck over. And that's what I enjoy about that guy. Like, I just love watching his style play. It's just so fun.
Because he's 6'7", 250 against these small cornerbacks. You're right. It's like such a mismatch if they can get him.
It's so straight smash mouth football, dude. Just catches the ball, runs people the fuck over. He should only get 2 yards, ends up getting 7 or 8. Like, just, it's so much fun to watch. But that's for tight ends. That was really all I had. Was just having fun watching Gentry. Healthy. Yeah, like Muth. They're gonna hopefully not keep him out there much or at all. And then after that, Gentry, and like I said, it's going to be Hayward. Raider don't have a chance in hell. But like I said, I'm hoping that Hayward could help push Derek Watt out too. I really am. Like, it's amazing how I went from being so pissed they got Connor Hayward to now I'm hoping, holy shit, I hope this kid pushes Derek Watt out. Like, the transition is like, but hey, good on that kid. Like, hey, I love it. I'd rather be wrong and it helps the team than be right and it hurts the team. I am all about being wrong as long as it helps the team. I have no problems admitting that. And I was wrong about Connor Hayward. At least it looks like it, from what we've seen so far. But so that's all I got on the tight ends.
We should mention before we go. Tomlin said all starters are going to play if they're healthy. Cam Hayward's going to play. Najee Harris is going to get his first carries in the preseason. So we'll get a good view of what this team's like because everyone's going to play except, a couple injured guys. We don't know.
Don't you think that's fucking strange though? Like, this never happens. Why all of a sudden in the very last game, everyone's playing? Like, I don't understand that. Do you?
Well, like we talked about, this is the first time the Steelers have had 3 preseason games. They had 4 even last year because they had the Hall of Fame game. So
Yeah.
this is totally new to Tomlin, and he's doing it differently this year.
Don't get me wrong. I'm excited as hell about it, but like at the same time, I'm kind of like, this is different, man. Like usually this is where you're like, no, all the starters are not playing. We're protecting everyone.
It is scary, right? It's a little scary.
Like I'm really surprised.
And he's still going to play.
I don't know. It's just interesting to me that they're going to go that route. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't bite him in the ass. That's all.
Yeah. You want to jump to the offensive line?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing I got here is Dotson versus Green.
Yeah, that's huge.
Are we going to end this bullshit with Green? Like seriously, the guy's not even good enough to be third string. Like, come on, man. Just end this shit.
Dotson step up in a big way.
Yes.
Really good.
Please.
Dominant.
Pancake a motherfucker. Don't give up any sacks. Be great in the run blocking. Like, come on, man. Like, step up. We saw it. We saw it, dude. We know what he can do. We've never seen it from Green, really.
No.
But we've seen it with Dotson. We know what he can do. Like, so I'm hoping he has a big game. We can be done with this mess, with this joke of competition between the two.
Aiden Hutchinson against Dan Moore Jr. This could be scary because I watched the Hard Knocks the other day, and dude, his first snap, he's in the backfield tackling the running back. Second snap, he almost sacked the quarterback. It's like
kid's a beast. He's a beast. Yeah.
Trubisky better be on this freaking bicycle. He might have to be fucking running around. Yeah, it's gonna be scary. Let's hope it's improved. It doesn't have to be spectacular, just better than last week, please.
You want to jump into defense?
Sure. Defensive line. Go there first.
I put, will a real defensive lineman please stand up? And I'm not talking about the starters. I'm not talking about Ogunjobi or Cam Hayward or Alu. I'm talking about like the Davis brothers versus the rest of these guys. Adams, Loudermilk, Leal, Mondu, Wormley, Donovan Jeter. That's a guy really buried at the bottom. Yeah, Jeter. So
I picked him to be a cut the last 2 times and I kept him. I thought for sure he was fine. But
so I just I the only one out of the group that like I've been, if I want to say, impressed with, honestly, out of that group has been Leal.
Leal, sure.
Yeah, like that's the only one I've been like, okay, I remember Mondu having that fumble recovery, or was it strip sack? I can't remember. But like, I haven't seen anything else from anybody. Like, it's like, it's these guys. Somebody got to step up here. Like, and who's it going to be? The Khalil brothers. They haven't done shit either. Whether it be Carlos.
First preseason game, we talked about how
the Davis
second
brothers.
half these guys should dominate because they're good and they're playing against backups and third stringers, and they never did. And last week, not so much either. And
yeah, I haven't seen Khalil or Carlos, either one of them do anything. Like I remember that Khalil, was that him that knocked that dude the fuck out?
I was just gonna say that's the one time they showed him when he knocked
that was it though. So I don't know. Man, this is going to be like when we do our little prediction, like the very last final 53 prediction, dude. This is going to be crazy. Like to figure it out. Yeah.
And then Montrevious Adams has been hurt. We don't even know what his status is. If he's going to play, if he can play, if he can start the season. He's been out with an ankle for a while.
Yeah, and I took a picture of the how they had the defensive line set up, like you were talking about when you were trying to tell me. And like, yeah, you're right. Adams is the backup nose tackle to Alu. And then defensive tackle, the backup to Cameron Hayward is Loudermilk.
Yeah.
So yeah. So on third on that is Carlos Davis, nose tackle, and a defensive tackle, it's Khalil Davis.
Yep.
So they got Mondu fourth string defensive tackle, and Jeter is the fourth string nose tackle. So I don't know man, when you get to that second string, third, oh man, dude, like, holy shit. Like, out of that crew, the only ones that I have liked because of what I've seen is Wormley, Adams, and Liao, really.
Yeah.
And Loudermilk has showed potential.
I like Loudermilk. He hasn't had a great preseason, but I think
right.
He's right.
But yeah, so I don't
Wormley
know.
could get cut. Wormley hasn't done much, and they got a lot of guys in the defensive.
Well, you know what? I wonder what his cap hit is.
He's not too much.
No,
he might actually be a guy they can move in a trade too. He might garner some interest because
that's kind of funny because they traded for him.
Yep, right around this time too, right? Wasn't it late?
Yep. Yeah.
Let's see his.
It was when they lost Alu Alu.
Yep. Let's see. I don't think it's that much. Let's see. 2.9. If they cut him, they can save 2.3. They can save 1.7. He's got 600,000 guaranteed. So yeah, it's not nothing.
No.
So
and it all adds up at the end.
All right, but, inside out linebackers. We kind of touched on this a little bit.
Which one did you say? Inside?
Inside, yeah.
Okay. My thing is will Bush make another splash play and we look more decisive out there?
We want to see it. We want to see
it.
Yeah,
like come on, man. Like, and I didn't talk about this at all, but did you see the interview with Del Lawley?
The Devin Bush one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I sent you it. Remember I texted you the so my thing is dude, learn to say that when you're first asked. Like when they remember I said it. I said this. I said if I was him, I'd have said I want to be a Steeler. I want to be here. I want to show that. And then he goes, what I was meaning was I want to be a Steeler. It's like, Jesus, dude, say that shit in the beginning. Like, don't wait 5 days to do an interview and be like, oh, this is what I meant. It's like, God.
You were 100% right, dude, when I said he's not media savvy. And you're like, he should be. His dad's a football player. He went to a big school. You're right. He should be, but he's not. He's not good with the media. For whatever reason, he's just
I don't
nipped at him, and he just kind of gave, the cocky answer that, most young kids do. And, Pittsburgh Steelers press, they're going to run with it, and it's going to go crazy. So,
yeah, because I guess I think he said he talked to him for 45 minutes, but that was the only little part they cut out from it was where he made that comment.
Of course, because that's the one that's going to get clicks and headlines.
Right. So it's like, fuck, man. Like that made him look really bad. Like I was pissed.
And we don't know the guy, but I heard DK say that he interviewed him when he was a rookie, and a year later, and he said he's the nicest, most laid back kid he's ever talked to as a Steeler, and he really liked him. He was surprised he said that, but so maybe he's just a little understood. He needs to work on his answers to the media.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the Steelers defense. If Devin Bush is rookie Devin Bush, they're a top 3 defense. If Devin Bush is last year's Devin Bush, they're out of the top 10. That's how big a swing, because he is so good when he's so key to the defense. With him and Miles Jack at the top of their game, that's trouble for opposing offenses.
I agree.
Dominant defense the Steelers could have.
Yep.
It's so important that he plays well.
I completely agree. The way he was playing the year he actually got hurt. Before he got hurt, he was looking like he was going to be pretty damn good. And ever since then, it's just never been the same. So you're right. If it does click, man, we are going to be in business. That allows so much. No more Minka needing to be a third linebacker to make the. I mean, just can you imagine now he can get out there in coverage and really do damage that route?
Exactly right. Remember that 2 years ago? Bush's rookie season, when that was Minka's best year, right? When he was going crazy with all those turnovers and stuff.
Yep.
That's the Minka we need, It's him and it's Tyson Alualu. If those two guys stay healthy and play well, this defense may be the best in the league. Probably the best in the league.
It could happen. They stay healthy. Absolutely. I have here who steps up to be the third edge. Rashid, Tuska, or Alante Scott?
I'm hoping it's Rashid. I don't have much faith in the other two.
I think it's going to be Rashid too. Like I said, I think that guy is legit. They talk about how fast he is off the line.
Yep.
Like he's quick. So yeah, I think for sure that I think it's going to be him. I think he's the main reason why they let Avery roll.
I agree. It has to be. And the only other thing you can think of is they've got somebody in the back of their mind that they think's going to get cut or that they can trade for, that they're just waiting out. Like I wrote the post this week. There's a couple of former Steelers out there, Ola, Denier, they could trade for, or a lot of people are bringing up Quincy Roche, could be cut by the Giants. There's a few guys out there. I mean, I like Flowers. He got picked up this week. That's a solid veteran guy. They could have.
Yep.
It's a couple other guys I brought up, but if they stay in house, it's got to be Rashid.
Yep. No, I agree.
Safeties. Let's see how they got, right?
Yeah, I got here. Is Kilbrew going to be the outside guy looking in now?
Is he
or will his special teams be too much to let go of? Just like we talked about with Snell.
Yeah.
Like they're going to have to decide who the hell is most important to them and is worth the money. That's the way I look at it. But like you said, is he even going to damn play? Like if he's injured.
3 guys, Marcus Allen, Killebrew, and who am I forgetting? Oh, Derek Watt. 3 special teams aces. 3 guys have been hurt most of the preseason. Job's on the line.
One of them might want to get healthy real quick, like for tomorrow or Sunday night. Yeah.
The only one we know, I think Marcus Allen's going to play for sure. I'm 90% sure of that. The other 2, we don't have any idea.
And I always wonder about that shit too. Like how many of them are just playing this game, trying to keep, healthy, oh, it still hurts. Oh no, I'm good to go now. Like I have to wonder about that shit, man. I don't know. That shit Daniel said, just the whole peak, I don't peak and that shit really made me wonder, man, like what the hell, but
that
yeah, anyways.
Bush he just doesn't know how to speak to the media and got ticked off and just said something stupid.
Yep. Last but not least, I have here the final battle between Steele, Pierre, and Lane.
Yep.
One of them is gonna make a big play, and I just wonder who it's gonna be this time. Last week it was Lane. It was almost Steele. I haven't heard shit from Pierre. Like I except for the first game, he did good in coverage. He had a couple pass breakups with Norwood behind him at safety.
Like he's running ahead of all those guys in camp, though. They say
there's no fucking way. What?
I don't understand. They said he's been second team and Lane's been third team. I don't get it. I really don't. But
yeah, there's no way. I don't believe it for a second.
And Alfred Maulet's kind of injured too, right? So we don't know the status of him.
Oh yeah, and I can play a factor too. I mean, if he's bad enough, or say they put him on the pup, then that means 2 of these guys make the team. Maybe all 3. You never know. But yeah, no. I'll be interested to see out of this battle there who makes the big splash plays here at the end. Finish strong.
Yep. Special teams guys. Same old. There's no debate. They've cut all the backups now, so we've got our starting kicker and punter. Not that we didn't know the kicker anyway.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing Harvin kick the shit out of the ball again. It's so good to see him doing that. And I mean, he looks incredible. Looks incredible. Like
This is the thing with him though, right? Inconsistent. We'd like to see him do it 2 weeks in a row. He'd have good games and bad games, and really bad games. So let's see him do it 2 weeks in a row. It'd be nice.
No, I agree. Yeah, I hope that, I hope this is legit with him. I really do.
All right, man. I think that wraps it up. Unless you got anything else to throw in before we go.
No, I nothing here.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at SteelersSank16. You can find Dave at M_Corum. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram at Steelers_Sanctuary_podcast. Did I get it all? I think I got it all.
Yeah, I think you got it all.
All right. Until next week, we'll probably we're going to do a Sunday one. We're going to try to do a Sunday one after the game.
Yeah, we'll be good to go for Sunday.
All right, cool. We'll do a Sunday pod to go over the game. And until then, see you next week.